Somewhere along the way, Americans were taught that we have to always be happy for some reason. Not grateful, not disciplined, not useful, not strong, just plain old happy. Now, is it okay to be happy? Yeah, sure. But do you always have to be happy? No. When people start making happiness the highest goal that they can obtain, when you start avoiding things, when you start trying to be as comfortable as possible, when you start to avoid commitments, when you start to avoid your duties, when you don't believe in duties, you're really just avoiding reality. Happiness used to never really be a concern in almost all of human history. Nobody tried to obtain such daily happiness, goals of obtaining this comfort. They just went about and performed their duties and their obligations. I believe that people that do not have these obligations or duties, they suffer more than people that do have duties and obligations. Are there some outliers? Obviously. But that's not the point. Now, how does that work into being prepared? When you have to prepare for something, you actually have to work towards something, especially if you're poor. Life is hard. It's tough, and things are going to break. Systems will fail. People will fail you. Life will seem like it's trying to stomp you out. That's just the way it is. The only thing that you can do is prepare for it. You can be ready. You can stay steadfast, and you can completely ignore the idea of happiness, like 99% of the population did before modern time. Preparedness is not just about what you have, your gear. It's not about your fuel, your beans, your pastas, your meat, your food. It's not about your garden. It's not about the medical supplies you have, all the books you have. Now that all matters, but that's not everything. Because if something happens, a hurricane, your beard's a mess, something like that happens, tornado, 9/11, anything of the sort happens to you, and you just crumble the moment it seems like the sky's falling, you're not prepared. I don't know how I got this way personally. I just was born this way or is molded this way. I really don't know. I have a high amount of lack of sympathy and empathy. Not just for other people. I have it. I know what it is. I can feel it. Things make me sad. People suffering makes me sad. I can feel it. I can recognize it. I understand it. But I have a high amount of resilience towards it. I'm able to ignore it. And that's even for myself. I just don't care. I'm afraid of heights, but I can easily do some really sketchy stuff in the air. And it's not for lack of recognition for my value of my life. It's just if something's got to be done, it's got to be done. Now, there are some things when it comes to heights or things that are dangerous. I was like, there's other people around that have slightly less fears of heights or dangerous situations. I'll let them handle it. But for the most part, you've got to have a strong mind. And I don't know much more than I could tell you. Is just the only way you're going to get that is if you do those things that you're afraid of. Now, I'm not saying you've got to sign up into the military and go fight some useless war, but maybe go on a roller coaster, and I've been on one. But don't blame me if it falls apart. If you're afraid of flying, go flying. But once again, do not blame me for telling you to go on an airplane and it crashes. All right, look here. I get they're safe, but if you never go on an aircraft, this is my fear mongering. If you never go on an aircraft, you're highly unlikely, almost 100%, to never be in a plane crash. If you're just not you're highly unlikely to get bit by a shark or eaten by a shark if you just don't swim in the ocean. That's my arguments for having rational fears, or irrational fears and everything, I should say, because they are really irrational. But my argument is that you should put yourself in situations that make you uncomfortable, whether that's flying, climbing, anything like that. And it comes back down to, don't put yourself where you're always going to be in stressful situations. That's also bad. But there's nothing wrong with being uncomfortable. There's nothing wrong with preparing your mind for disaster, for extremely stressful situations where a lot of times modern people just fall apart. They just crumble the instant something bad happens. I'm saying everybody, but I've noticed it more and more and more. The forced ideology of daily happiness. And it also comes down to a lot of people can't even handle boredom. I don't know. It's not even my childhood, just even in my younger years, when you had the internet everywhere and you had your phone, boredom consumed most of your life. I'm not even that old, but I come from a small community, a small town, where they didn't get fiber internet till I graduated high school. And once again, I ain't that old. America just wasn't built on the idea that everybody ought to be, should be happy. It was built around duty, obligations, hard work, sacrifice, determination. That's what built this great country. It's what built the farms. It's what led us into mistakes and everything. Sometimes Mother Nature helps with that. But it's what built the big cities. It's what built communities. It's what built the churches and the foundations to those churches. We've lost this idea of duty. Duty, if you're sworn an oath, whether that's marriage, friends, family. Now, yeah, unfortunately, you are born into a duty, and everybody is. Now, can that duty and obligation be nullified? Sure. I'll leave that up to you to determine when those are nullified. But to me, if you sign a contract, whether that's a credit card or you're obligated to marriage through God or the state, or you swear an oath as a police officer, a doctor, a politician, or a soldier. Those are oaths. Those are now duties. In order to perform duties, you've got to give up some of your rights. One of those rights is, some people think, is you have a right to happiness. I don't believe that at all. Nobody on planet Earth has the right to be happy in any way, shape, or form. But you have a duty once you swear an oath. And I honestly believe that you're not supposed to be happy performing those duties. Now, you should be happy in the sense of, if you're fulfilling your duties in the strict sense of, if the duty's simple, like wake up every day, go to work, that's a simple one. That should bring you enough happiness. But happiness shouldn't be fuel. Your moral obligations, your duty to your family, your duty to your friends, your duty to your community, your duty to your dogs. I'd say cats, but I just don't like cats. But you get what I'm saying. Your duty to your goldfish, to feed it. That's your duty. You've got to get rid of happiness sometimes, because sometimes you just ain't happy enough to wake up. You're too stressed. You're too depressed. You're too sad. You're too angry. And you should just completely neglect all your obligations you're sworn to, all your duties you're sworn to, because you just ain't happy. You just ain't happy. I don't have to do anything because I'm not happy. In fact, I should nullify all my duties and obligations completely, to the person I married, to the community that expects me to show up, to the job that expects me to show up. I should just nullify all of these all at once, because I'm just not happy. I just don't believe in that. Now, do I believe that you should seek some amount of reward through happiness and through whatever else out there? Yeah, you should. But to me, people that hunt happiness are no better than the man that only goes after money. Those are both the same people to me. They both only care. They don't care about their duties. They don't care about their obligations. They only care about money, or the opposite, or not the opposite. The other person cares about happiness. Those people are the same to me. They're the same side, different sides of the same coin, or whatever Aristotle said. Sorry. Sometimes my mind wants to say what it needs to say, but then it gets two different things confused with each other. I'm sure everybody has that issue. A man used to never wake up and be like, am I happy? Was I happy yesterday? Will I be happy today? Those things just didn't exist. He went to work. In fact, many men still do that today. That's why we're still in a high functioning society somehow, even though it feels like we're on a downward slope. It's because there are still men that wake up every day not happy. The thought of happiness never even crosses their mind, I guarantee you. They're still gonna laugh. They're still gonna make jokes. They're still gonna have a good time. but they don't think about, does this make me happy? They just go and do it. Those are the guys that will be prepared. A tornado rips through their community. Yeah, it sucks. They lose a family member. They don't just crumble. They keep going. Those are the prepared people mentally. Because once again, it's not all about the singular things. It's about the group of everything. It's about the whole of everything, the indivisible part. It's having a strong foundation. It's having food supplies. It's having a little bit of fuel on hand. It's having a good relationship with your community. It's having a good relationship with your family. It's having a good relationship with your wife and your kids and your husband. That's all that matters. Now we live in a world where it's okay to just quit because you're not happy. And you're not made fun of. You're not bullied for it. Nothing bad happens to you if you're just like, I wasn't happy, so I quit. Like, I don't get that. Now I get, if you're just utterly miserable at a job, you're being harassed in a relationship, and you just can't fix it. Once again, I believe that you should be able to nullify your obligations and your duties. You hold that right. It's how thin that line is. It's how easy it is for people to cross it and go back and forth between them. Like, oh yeah, I'll take on this contract, I'll take on this duty, and just like flip-flop out of it and do whatever they want all willy-nilly because they just ain't happy. And it's not like I haven't been there. I have been. And a lot of times I still just go about and do my best. Sometimes I do a little bit less than my best because it's just, if you don't know what I'm talking about, I don't know how to describe this. You still show up on time, you still do your job, but you're not at 100% anymore. And I think so long as you still have the right mentality of showing up on time, providing what you can and everything, that's a good start. Because I know people that just literally flip-flop out of, oh, I'll just quit and go work somewhere else. I'll just divorce, do this. And don't get me wrong, there are plenty of people that are married, they're married to the wrong person, they're in the wrong line of duty, all of that kind of stuff. The wrong line of job, I should say. Just all wrong. and they're not even focused on happiness. They're just miserable. They don't even care about happiness. They just want to not be miserable. That's fine. I get that. It's the same thing of being wet for 5 days straight in the field and everything. You're just miserable. You don't even care about being happy. You just don't want to be wet anymore. That is okay. But to seek just money, just happiness, it ain't going to get you far. You've got to spend 4 days on the field, and you're going to get told you got one more day in the rain. I guess what you got? You got one more day in the rain. Then you can dry off. I don't want to see America erode because I'm obligated to make somebody happy, or you're obligated to be happy. You're obligated to feel a certain way for whatever reason. I just don't believe in that. I don't believe anybody has a right to anger, a right to happiness, a right to sadness. I just don't believe that. I just have a hard issue accepting these emotional concepts as rights. I have a hard time accepting rights as even anything that really exists. Don't get me wrong. The wording of rights for what the government should be restricted from is a good word. And we can get into that at a different time. Rights is hard to prove any amount of existence for, basically. Either way, what I'm getting at is be prepared on multiple fronts. That is, have some amount of fuel on hand. A good preparedness is don't ever let your vehicle get below a quarter tank. Always have a full tank. Don't get below half. Just take a couple minutes out of your day, go to the gas station, keep it filled. Plain and simple. Another one, don't ever not have some canned food, some dried food. Just have some amount of storage. It always starts. Don't even count the calories. Just always know when you go to the store, I've got to buy this canned good. It could be one can. That's all you can afford, buy one can. It's simple as that. Whenever you run into something uncomfortable, attempt to at least do it. And eventually maybe do it. The airplane idea, the climbing on a roof, climbing a tree, anything like that. I know people that can't even go on a ladder. Like that, I'm afraid of heights, but I can climb a pretty tall ladder, especially if I set it up. Being prepared isn't about the gear you have, the backpack, the vehicle, the off-road rig, how much fuel you got stored, all that stuff. And I'm repeating myself because I honestly believe that there's a lot of people out there that are prepared, but if something catastrophic happened, game over mentally for them. I honestly believe not for me. You should be so sure of yourself, so sure. And confidence is part of it. Is that can I do it? Can I even attempt to do it? And I'm confident that if tomorrow there was no electricity, I can confidently know that I would survive, that my family would survive. Confidently. I am so confident. Maybe I wouldn't survive 20 plus years with no electricity because I would spend myself. I would give up the rest of my youth, and I would give up the rest of my mature mobility, and I would starve if I had to, because that's my duty. It's my obligation. Those are the things I must do for my lineage to be passed on. I'm confident of that. I know I can do it. Stop having this modern, mainly, well, not even American, Western mindset, we could say. This Western mindset of, if it doesn't make me happy, I'm just not gonna do it. If it makes me uncomfortable, I'm just not gonna do it. If it's out of my wheelhouse, I'm not even gonna attempt to learn how to do it. And you need to have the mindset that if it needs to be done, just go out and do it. Just go out and do it. I don't know how many times I've just had to go out and do it. One word that I hate is can't. I can't do it. Now, I will accept and honor your I won't do it. I will honor that because at least you're not admitting that you can't do it. I will even accept of, hey, I'm not really an expert in that. In fact, I've never done it before. That's acceptable. Can't? I can't do it? I do not like even hearing that from my own friends, from my own family, my children. I do not like that word at all. I can probably count on one hand how many times I've said can't. I can't do it. Now I will say I won't do it. I will not do it. I could probably do it. I will say, I'm not the best choice for this. I will use all those. But I will never go as far as I can't do it. Okay, maybe it'll take more than one hand, because if somebody told me that, can I fly? No, I can't fly. You know, like Superman fly. Obviously, I can go in a plane or a helicopter and I can fly. I've flown plenty of times. Not as much as some other people out there, but I can admit that I've been on an aircraft and I hate it. But anyways, let's end this video. Have a strong mind, a strong body. Go and work out. Go and run. I need a run. I haven't run in a while. I don't even know if I can run, but I don't know if I can run a long distance. You know, like 6-7 miles. I can walk a long distance. We need stronger communities, and the way you have stronger communities, you gotta have a strong mind. You can forget all the other stuff, all the fuel, all the food, and everything, because that's all useless. Is if you just choke when people are relying on you, or you just fall apart. You crumble when something terrible happens. And it could be anything. Like I said, a tornado, a hurricane, a bad storm just rips through your community. Sheer winds, lightning strikes, forest fires. The list goes on of natural disasters. And those are minor compared to what some civilizations have gone through. You know, we could be being bombed right now. Let's be honest here. And that would suck. But are you prepared for that? Can you knowingly say, if your house was level, everything was gone, would you survive? Or would you crumble? A lot of people would. The mind's pretty strong. The mind, believe it or not, your mind doesn't actually want to hurt you. I mean, it does, it lies to you, but it doesn't actually want to end you. Your mind's pretty resilient. And it's just ignoring that part of your brain that's like, oh, I need to feel sorry for myself. Anyways, comment, like, subscribe. Camera's overheating. See you guys next time.